Wake it up, America, because Francisco Lindor is richer than you. He signed a $341 million extension. That
Look at the jacket.
Starts.
He's the best. The Coming to America jacket.
Steve Cohen made it happen. So $341 guaranteed, the third largest contract of all time. Third to Mike Trout and Mookie Betts. This negotiation, it was public, which made me feel like it definitely had to get done, right?
Lauren, for me, after the McCann sign in the offseason, I literally put pen to paper and said, if I'm the GM of the Mets, how do I complete this offseason?
Was it him?
My first move was him. He is one of the best players in the game, obviously. Premium position, typecast for the market he's going to play in. Chance to be a superstar for the next 10 years. With Pete Alonso and some of the younger players coming down the pike for the Mets, I mean, I thought this was the perfect guy to go in there. And it'll also change the free agent market for some other guys like Correa and
set the market.
Yes. So, right man, right time, right city, right owner. And it's crazy. The Mets on paper going into this season, you know, it all comes down to health. But I mean, as good a chance as any of winning the whole thing.
But considering on the free agents that they missed out on, I know Lindor's not a free agent, but they missed out on Bauer. They missed out on Springer. This was a must, and to get him extended, huge.
I don't look at it like that. And I think following Marcus Stroman on Twitter, he doesn't look at it like that as well. It's not who they missed out on. Man, they added so many pieces to this team to make them better and more competitive. I know Carrasco's going to start the year on the DL, but he's certainly going to help them. The way they were able to piece it together, and not only that, give themselves depth in AAA and, you know, for the 162 to grind it out with some starting pitching going down there. I liked everything the Mets did.
All right, for more, let's bring in our insider, Ken Rosenthal. Good morning to you, Ken. Give us a little context on this deal, what it means, and how it got done.
Well, we knew as of just yesterday that Lindor was asking for $385 million. The Mets were offering $325. So how do you get to $341? Well, they got there, and obviously Lindor wanted it to get there because guess what? That's $1 million more than Fernando Tatis Jr. got. So that was why that was the magic number for him. But for the Mets, it's still a win and really not a deviation from what they offered because there's a ton of deferred money in this deal. That will bring the present day value down to about, I don't know, maybe $325, which was the original offer. So what's really interesting to me, D-Row, is how players think. And they think in terms of the guarantee. Tatis is in a much different place than Lindor in his career. He's 22 years old. He was 4 years away from free agency when he signed that deal. Lindor was 27, entering 27th season, and was only 1 year away from free agency. So different situations entirely. Tatis gets 14 years, Lindor gets 10, but Lindor wanted that number, and even if it's not actually that number with deferrals, he doesn't care. He's above Tatis Jr., and let's face it, he's accomplished a lot more in his career than Tatis Jr. Now, D-Row, I want to disagree with you on one thing here. The idea that the Mets didn't have some misses this offseason, they did. And if they had not signed Lindor and had the possibility of losing him after 1 year, that would have been a bad look for the team or for the owner, Steve Cohen, who, of course, came in with such promise. They were going to sign two of the big four free agents, the whole deal. And then there was Lindor. He was under pressure, too. Could you imagine if he had not signed this deal, rejected $325 million, and then took the field opening day at Citi Field? I'm not so sure that would have gone well.
Yeah, I don't think there was any chance that Lindor wasn't getting it done. I really do. Stevie Cohen coming in, I felt like this was the perfect opportunity. They needed that matinee idol piece to kind of complete everything. I didn't think there was a chance he was walking out the door. And I don't necessarily, listen, Trevor Bauer and the JT Realmutos of the world are going to make any team better. But I didn't necessarily think, if we're building, if the Mets have to, they can't keep throwing it against the wall and hoping Jacob deGrom sticks and Noah Syndergaard comes back and is perfect. They have built a nice team here, and they have that linchpin in Lindor, that monster matinee idol for the next 10 years. And I'm feeling what they're doing. So I think Bauer for them obviously would have made them better in the short term. I don't necessarily think that they can't win the whole thing without him. I like what they've done.
Well, they thought they had Bauer, and it just didn't work out. He made a last-minute switch to the Dodgers. No fault of theirs on that one. And when you look at Lindor now, going forward, you guys mentioned this, the shortstop class of 21-22, We're talking about Seager and Story
Yeah.
and Baez, of course, and Correa. Well, it's going to be really interesting how this all plays out because we have a new collective bargaining agreement that presumably at some point will be agreed upon. Maybe not by the December 1st expiration date, but once you have a CBA in place, historically, the first year of that deal, owners spend a good amount on free agents. So those guys, Seager specifically, could do really well in building off this deal. So for Lindor, he gets great money, third highest contract of all time, but more is to come for these superstar elite talents.